Hello, I'm Pippa Wanganeen and this is Kitty Wanganeen, and we are so excited to be welcoming you to Inspiration's Mother's Day special, especially because it's our first Mother's Day together, isn't it? On today's show we talk to Tamara Di Mattina, creator and founder of Buy Nothing New Month, and we also find out about Melbourne's first Korean festival with director Hyun-Ju Newman. We joke around with comedian and social media trainer Jordana Borenstein, and we catch up with designers in the challenging world of fashion at the International Women's Federation of Commerce and Industry World of Fashion event. We hope you enjoyed this Mother's Day special.
Today on Inspiration, I'm with Tamara Di Mattina, the founder and creator of The New Joneses and Buy Nothing New Month. Thanks for joining us, or thanks for having us.
Yeah,
in your beautiful
thanks for joining me. Lovely to
Can
have you.
Tell us about your concept, The New Joneses.
It's just basically an easy way to take green from mung bean to mainstream. So I'm really trying to put some of the messages or some of the lessons I've had in my own life around how can I be a more thoughtful consumer, a less wasteful consumer, and more aware of my impact. How can I sort of take some of the lessons that I've learned and put them out there in a really easy and digestible way for everyone to make some simple changes in their life. So,
And what does that mean?
What we did was, well, we've done it a couple of times, we took the most energy efficient building you can get. It's an 8-star prefabricated modular home, craned it onto Fed Square, and had people go in there to live. So the first time we had the New Joneses were just a couple of just everyday Aussies, and they went in there just in their undies and bathrobes. The house was empty and they had to source everything secondhand. And that was a great challenge, but also it was to show people that secondhand's not second best. So Grand Hyatt came on board and they provided all our beds and our linen and our sheets and towels, etc., to show that, you know, if you stay in a luxury hotel, you're using secondhand stuff, or if you eat in at the best restaurant, you're using cutlery and crockery someone else has used before.
Which I think is a really interesting concept, because people would think, oh, the finest hotels or restaurants, but it's true. Like, you don't even think about it. You don't even bother about sleeping there. You think actually it's luxurious and amazing, and you spend a lot of money to do it.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I think it's just the projects that I'm working on are trying to tweak how we think about these things so we can be more thoughtful of our finite resources. That's all. A lot of the concepts that we're putting out are really old. It's not new stuff, but it's just we've sort of become very uber wasteful and not very thoughtful consumers, I think, in quite a short space of time. So we're just trying to rewind it a bit. Like, even in our grandparents' time, they didn't, you know, if you looked in a wardrobe, even the size of wardrobes in those days were tiny compared to now. We have massive wardrobe, people have walk-in rooms and they still don't have anything to wear. So it's really just trying to rewind it a little bit, because the reality is we live on a planet, we've got finite resources. We don't have a never-ending supply of stuff, but many of us are consuming like we do. So things like Buy Nothing New Month and the New Joneses are really just fun ways to engage us around these messages and show it's not about going backwards and not having like a lovely, fun, creative, stylish life, but you can do all these things but in a way that is really thoughtful of our stuff.
So can you just tell us a few tips you think the average woman at home could do to make their life a bit more sustainable?
Food is a really big one. So if you throw food into your rubbish bin, it ends up in landfill, it doesn't break down, but it creates methane, which is it's a toxic gas, and it's 20 or 25 times more potent than the carbon emissions that come from our car. So many people wouldn't think that. So I would say probably the number one thing that you can do is really look at your food waste. Buy what you need, shop to a list. You'll save a hell of a lot of money as well. And
can you please tell us a bit about the Buy Nothing New Month?
It's simple. It's a bit like Feb Fast for booze.
Okay.
So, like you do in February, you take the month, you decide, I'm really going to be aware of my booze consumption. I'm just not going to do it for a month. So then you can see the impact. Do you feel better? Is your wallet heavier because, you know, you're not spending so much on booze? So Buy Nothing New Month is very similar. You take the month of October and you decide you're not going to buy anything new, of course with the exception of essentials. So undies, food. You can have booze in October. That's an essential for lots of people, but it's really just to encourage people to see there's so much great secondhand stuff out there, and that there are other ways that we can get the things that we need. So you don't necessarily need a new dress. Can you borrow it? Can you swap it? Can you buy it secondhand? But I think also when you buy secondhand things, you just get a much better quality, or you can get a much better quality than a lot of the stuff now. A lot of our fashion it's really cheap. It's fast, it's made quickly to churn it over, and I don't see that there's a lot of beautiful workmanship or craft in that. When I first started Buy Nothing New Month, I was worried that friends in the fashion industry would really not like the concept, and it's predominantly friends in the fashion industry that are really pro Buy Nothing New Month, because the whole fast fashion and consuming and wearing something a few times and then throwing it away, or you wear it a few times and it falls apart. My lifestyle, I think, is fantastic. I choose where I spend that money. For Christmas a few years ago, I have 9 nieces and nephews, and I very rarely give them presents, and for a long time I thought that in their head I must be the tight-ass Auntie Tassie that doesn't ever give them anything, but I try to give them experiences. We had a bubble blower came one year for Christmas, and so instead of 9 gifts, 9 bits of wrapping, the time that it takes me to go out, the money and all that sort of thing, I spent all that money on this amazing, beautiful bubble blower. It was a person who came and showed them how to blow massive bubbles for an hour. Cool. Everyone loved it, the parents loved it, we have beautiful photos of it.
And you had an amazing memory.
Yeah, and it was just, I think the kids had such an incredible time, it was so much more meaningful than if they had got another thing that they didn't need, because
they won't remember it anyway, and they'll remember this Christmas forever.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for those fabulous words of advice.
Oh, my pleasure.
It's really inspirational what you're doing, and
Keep
up the good work.
Thank you very much. Thanks for coming.